Hello, I hope you're having a good day. It's Zach back with the Fusion Basics series, episode 2. Today we're going to create a more in-depth project, the candle holder. So you can see on my screen right now, I have what we are going to be creating by the end of this video. And so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to close the data panel. Let's just get ourselves some room, and I'm going to create a new design. New part design, create. And now we have an open canvas, and I'm going to go and save this real quick. And now we're going to create our first sketch for this. So how we're going to make this candle holder is we're going to use the cube skills from last time. We're going to make a cube, but then we're going to use some other features in Fusion 360 that I'll show you later. So we're going to first create a sketch just like we did in the last video, and we're going to use the 2-point rectangle. So it's in create rectangle, 2-point rectangle. Otherwise, if you have it pinned, it's a good way. We're going to tap once, we're going to drag 50 millimeters, tab 50 millimeters, enter, and we have our 50 by 50 square. So now finish sketch. So now at this point we're to where we were last time in the episode, but we're going to do something different. We're going to use the extrude function again. So we're going to go up into create and extrude, but we're going to extrude it this time. We're going to type 30 millimeters. 30 millimeters. We're going to make it a little bit shorter than last time. And now we have our little box here. Now we get to actually start making it a candle holder. So for a candle holder to hold a candle, we need a hole for the candle to go in. But luckily, Fusion has a feature for that. So if you go and create, if you go down here to hole, you can press it. It'll ask you for the plane on which you want your hole to go. We're going to select this top plane, and then it'll pop up a hole right there. So now what I'm going to do first is I'm going to click the top view. So in this navigation cube, if you click the top, then it'll automatically go to the top view. And then we're going to drag this hole until it snaps in the center of our object here. So now you can see it's in the center. And then to make the hole radius different, or the diameter in here, we can scroll down to this function on the sidebar. And we can make it, we're going to make it 30 millimeters wide, and we're going to make it 20 millimeters deep like we have it now. One thing you might notice is right now there's a cone on the bottom. We don't want there to be a cone because we want it to be flat on the bottom. So we are going to change the drill point to flat. And I think that's it for our settings in here for this hole. But the hole is essentially so that red part is going to cut out of that solid cube we made and make a hole where we can put a candle. So now, depending on the candle you have, so I'm designing this for a candle that's probably around 30 millimeters in diameter. You would change the diameter or you would change the height depending on the type of candle you have. So if you're making one custom for yourself, for a candle you have, you'll want to change that to match your candle. So now we can click OK. And we have a basic candle holder. Now this would work just fine to hold a candle. If you measured it right, it would work just fine. But we don't want it to just work just fine. We want it to look great. So we are going to use a few of Fusion's extra fun features, starting with, up here in Modify, we're going to use Fillet. So now this is going to round the corners of the edges we click. So now don't click faces. Make sure you're clicking edges for this. So then go around your object and click every single edge. Don't use this arrow or anything yet until you have all of your edges selected. So we're going to do all the cube edges. We're not going to do the round surface edge, this edge right here yet. But if you click all these edges, we can scroll around here. Oh, I almost clicked the face. There we go. If you click the edges, you can see it brings up a selection set over here. We also have the measurement highlighted here, but then I think we'll do 3 millimeters. I think that's what it is on the other one that I made before. 3 millimeters, and you can see it rounds all the corners on there, and it looks pretty nice. I like it. And then all of these settings are good. I usually just don't mess with them. But if we wanted to do something different, we could add a different selection set and then have it be a different measurement right there. So now we can press OK, and it'll apply it to our model. Now, the last thing we're going to do on this model is we're going to make this hole look a little bit nicer. So we're going to do that in the Modify menu in Chamfer. And now we're going to do 3 millimeters again, just because I think it looks good. And if we just type 3 millimeters in there, you can see it's the same thing with the selection set and everything. So we're just going to type 3 millimeters, but this time instead of being curved, it's straight. So we can click OK right here. And now we have our completed model. Now, one last little feature I want to show you is the timeline. So down here, if I move my thing here, you can see we have a timeline. So this shows everything we've done in the past. And Fusion is a parametric modeling service, which means that we can actually edit those things in the past. So for example, if we want to make our hole, if we want to make it bigger, we can go back in time. We can change it to say 40, or okay. We can change it to 40. Then if we click OK, it automatically updates it to our finished model. And we can do that with sketches. We can do that with everything. I'm just going to demonstrate it once with the sketch. Here, we can change this to 70 millimeters, and then it'll change our candle holder. I did go through how to go back through and edit sketches, but it is cool to see this applied in one of these scenarios because the chamfer and the fillet, they adapt to that new sketch format. If you want to do it, I'm just using Control-Z as an undo shortcut. But now, remember that we have to save this. So click the save icon real quick. It'll pop up with user saved. So now we're going to click OK. And then it's going to save, and then we're all good. It'll give us this little check mark up there. So now we're going to go through the steps again to 3D print this. So now we're going to select it, and then make sure it's STL binary. Make sure the preparation type is export, and we can press OK. And then I'm going to name it candle holder is awesome, because it is awesome. And then we can save it there. And once you have that, it'll show up in your downloads folder, and that's pretty much it. So in this lesson, we used our sketch and extrude from the last lesson, but we also learned how to use the hole, how to use the fillet, and the chamfer functions in Fusion 360. So I hope this was helpful for you, and I hope you have an awesome time making your own candle holder if you so desire.